Welcome to page 8 of your volume packet. On this page, we're going to be calculating the volume of a rectangular prism. Several of them, actually. We know that the most basic formula for volume of a prism is V equals big B times H. But in this particular case, all of our base shapes are going to be rectangles. You can see that this base face is a rectangle. And we will use the formula length times width for the rectangular base. And then, of course, times height. So for each one of these rectangular prisms, we will use the specific formula, length times width times height. Let's begin. Make sure you have a calculator, something to write with, and of course, your volume packet. We will do 1 or 2 problems together, and then you will complete the rest of the page on your own. Every time you complete a problem, make sure you show your steps. We always start with our formula, substitute, and calculate. And make sure you add a label at the very end on the final step. Once you're done with all your work on this particular page, you can check your answers against the answers provided at the end of this video. Remember, as we calculate volume, we are measuring space, how much space an object takes up. And we measure that space in cubic units. So for our first solid, we're going to be measuring in cubic feet, or you can label it feet cubed, your choice. But let's take a look at letter A. It states, find the volume of each rectangular prism using the formula V equals big B times H. Of course, that's the very general formula we discussed earlier, but specifically, we will use volume equals length times width times height. Express the volume in cubic units. Let's begin. As we look at our very first solid, we can imagine holding this solid in the palm of our hand. What would be sitting on the palm of your hand would be a rectangular base face with a length of 5 and a width of 3. The height of the solid, of course, is here. Your H is 3 feet. So let's substitute. Volume equals a length of 5 times a width of 4 times a height of 3. Let's multiply. You should get 60 feet cubed, or cubic feet. There are 3 steps that must be shown for each one of these problems. Let's start with letter B and continue on. This is your length of 20. Your width, sitting in the palm of your hand, would be 6. And of course, 3 is your height. Remember, there will be 3 steps with each problem. Starting with the formula, you must show your work, then substitute volume equals 20 times 6 times a height of 3. And in your third and final step, you will list the answer and label. In this case, it's cubic centimeters or centimeters cubed. Go ahead and complete the rest of these problems on your own. Make sure you show the 3 steps for each problem. Pause the video, and when you're done with all your work, turn the video back on and check your work against the answer key. Make sure you use checks and C's as you correct your work. Pause the video and please begin. Check your work against the answers that are provided. If your answer is correct, give yourself a C. If your answer is incorrect, draw a line through your answer. Take a moment and correct your work. Once you're done, this concludes the video on rectangular prisms.